Wandra was released and then booked back in on the charges of the abduction and unaliving of Monkey Vaughn yesterday. Now, there hasn't been any formal announcement as of yet. This is coming through word from Brandy Neil, the mother of Monkey Vaughn, who is going through some real challenges when it comes to her health. She just recently had a liver transplant. However, she is recovering right now and hopefully on the mend. I'd also like to point out this scumbag on your particular screen, True Crime with Eve. You're such a fool, Eve. The previous 2 years leading up to all of this, she was keen to work with Stacey Wandra and do what, well, some creators are doing now with the Daniel Martel situation. Daniel Martel and Stacey Wandra have so much in common. It has everything to do with engaging with true crime channels in order to spread their false messages and garner donations. You can go to Purple Phoenix or True Crime. Oh, what's PNWs? We'll go over to that channel in a second. Missing PNW Crimes Revisited. I'll put the links in the comments section of this video and pin it to the top. Let me know in the comments section if you were engaged or remember what we have just went through when it comes to this scumbag channel, True Crime with Eve. Now, isn't it hilarious that last night she comes out with this Stacey Wandra update, Michael Vaughn case. She's such a catfish too. She's got, what does she have in there? Truth will prevail. Now, are you still going to go through all of this, Eve, and defend the biggest scumbag, Stacey Wandra, to ever walk the earth? Please, oh please, for those of you out there who are getting to know this case or don't know it yet, take the time and do it properly. There's all kinds of fantastic content out there. Maybe we'll bring you up to speed in a brief summary at this point. So in a nutshell, just for the sake of information at this point in time, I'll share with you just a brief summary of who Stacey Wandra is. Stacey Wandra and his wife Sarah Wandra lived near the Vaughn family. In November 2022, police searched their backyard following a tip that Michael's remains might be buried there. No evidence was found, except a bit of a side note there. The dogs hit, Cadaver dogs hit under the barbecue, and they hit at Stacey's buddy's mom's house in the laundry room on the drain. Decomp. And that started off the chain of events in order to really get Stacey Wandra's confession. They got a confession, and then he tried to retract his confession and came out all over social media trying to defend himself and just show how much he cared about the missing kids in this sense. Listen, the Fruitland, Idaho police got in front of the TV and warned the public about the 4 suspects in this particular case. Now, well, we know what's coming for Stacey. I wonder, I have to think that the same thing is going to be happening for the other 4 or the other 3 remaining suspects, which is Stacey, Adrian, and I can't remember that last dude's name. The dude who did his interview in the hot tub. Everybody covers Monkey in that sense, and this is such a compelling story. I can't wait for this trial to start. I've been thirsty and waiting for this for such a long time. I can't wait till they get Stacey Wandra on a perp walk. They released him so they could bring him back in just so they can get the camera shot for the perp walk. You hear that, True Crime with Eve? Your buddy? Let me know what you remember in the comment section below of this video with some of the crazy, you-know-what crap that True Crime with Eve was pulling. Disgusting behavior. Sarah was briefly arrested for failing to report a death but was released. Stacey was implicated after a leaked body cam video from 2022 showed him on a FaceTime call with detectives, directing them to a specific spot where he claimed to have seen Sarah burying a body, in black or white trash bag. The case has seen little public progress since 2023, with police submitting evidence involving the Wandras and 2 others to prosecutors in 2024. Well, guess what, friends? See, this is the type of scenario that you're going to see in this case, I believe. When I say this case, I mean the case with 2 missing siblings, 4 and 6, which would be 5 and 6 now, Jack and Lily Sullivan out of Pictou County, Nova Scotia. You're going to see the same behavior. You're going to see the same sort of scenario surrounding Daniel Martel, Janie, and Malaya. Stacey was implicated after a leaked body cam video from 2022 showed him on a FaceTime call with detectives, directing them to a specific spot where he claimed to have seen Sarah burying a body in a black or white trash bag. The case has seen little public progress until last night since 2023, with police submitting evidence involving the Wandras and 2 others to prosecutors in 2024. Unrelated to the Vaughn case, Stacey pleaded guilty in 2023 to federal charges of unlawful possession of a firearm. He's the Craigslist cabbie, remember. He's doing all of his businesses on Craigslist. He had all of these fake businesses set up with websites. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Please bring me home. Not saying that they're fake. But they blend in, and Stacey had a bunch of them. Used to do his dealings with other SOs and RSOs off of Craigslist. He served 21 months in custody and was released in late 2023. In 2024, he was sentenced to an additional year for violating supervised release. Now, Michael Vaughn, not that Michael Vaughn. Hold on.
Parts there so far, Don, are done.
Karen, is there any connection between the Vaughn family and the home where police had been searching?
No, we've heard this more than once from the family representatives and from the police department that there is no connection between the Vaughn family and the home where this search took place. We know the woman who lives in that home, Stacey Wandra, was taken into custody that Friday night and charged with failing to report a death, specifically naming Michael Vaughn in those reports. Now, there is no connection that we've been told of. Police say there's no connection. They don't know each other, but it is extremely close to the family's home, walking distance in a residential area, only a half a mile from where Michael Vaughn was last seen at his home that evening of July 27th. Don?
Karen, when they announced this press conference that hopefully will happen here momentarily, we were talking about the family. Do we know if Michael's family is there today or if they've been informed about what police will share?
They will not be here today, but I'm going to step out of the way as they start filing in, and we'll listen in live.
Now, before we start here, this is from Idaho News 6. Fruitland PD gave update in Michael Vaughn investigation from 2 years ago, okay? This is the presser, the famous presser, where they couldn't nail him down, or couldn't, I shouldn't say that, it's probably a better way to articulate that legally. But more or less, they're coming out here and saying what the issue is without saying anything. But something that you've never seen before, and they put them on blast. Stacey, his wife, and his 2 buddies that lived with them, and they're coming out and saying the public needs to be aware that these individuals are out and have not been, but are prime suspects in this case, essentially. And guess what? It's just a matter of time. The confusion it instilled in, especially, and I'm bringing it up here because this is the true crime genre, would be the target audience of this particular video. Okay, for all of the people that are worried about Jack and Lily Sullivan not seeing justice and things like this is how it happens. Unfortunately, when there are no smoking guns sitting around and there's, i.e., no evidence of anything. Now, it didn't go down exactly the same, and there's no two scenarios that are going to be exactly the same. The point to all of it is how the suspects deal with and try to engage with, in this circumstance, true crime creators. Stacey Wandra went around to, I've got 4 interviews in the background. Dolly did an extended one. Crimes Brooks at Crimes, Lines, and Lies did a big interview with him. He was asking to get passed around in exchange for money and all kinds of other things. Ask these creators about what was going on in the background with Stacey throughout all of this. Justin over at Clutch Them Pearls did a 4.5-hour interview with him. Hidden True Crime, Lauren, and the good doctor over there who are under the gun right now, mind you, but they did a long, detailed interview with him and gave him all kinds of money. Not that that's a bad thing. You got to do what you got to do for the clicks and views from a creator's standpoint. But point is that Stacey Wandra was active in trying to spread his campaign of disinformation, spread his story, and the worst, he also had an interview with PNW. Missing PNW Crimes Revisited would be the channel's name. And Brandy confronted Stacey Wandra, the mother, Brandy Vaughn, confronted Stacey Wandra and really was demanding to know where Michael was. And that woman has the strength of 1,000 men in a circumstance like that. It hit home. That made me cry like a little bish. I'm like, you really have to rethink what it is that you're doing when you see moments like that, I feel. Not that these are things that you don't want to play out, one, over your own channel in public. It's unnecessary. But at the same time, sometimes things just happen. Anyway, Purple Phoenix, historically, for people who are wanting to get to know about the case, and her channel called The Roundtable is a good source of information for people wanting to know. They'll be in here for those watching in the future, and I'm uploading this as a video, so, I mean, that applies to everybody, I guess. Anyway, let's listen.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to start out by saying thank you to our media partners. Thanks for being here. And thank you for the continued coverage of the Michael Vaughn case. I also wanted to begin by just giving my sincere thanks to all the law enforcement agencies, local businesses, and members of the public who helped us over the course of the last year and a half of this intense investigation. More recently, during the last 3 weeks, we could not have completed the work necessary without the selfless help of others. The community support has been absolutely incredible. As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughn could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sarah Wandra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wandras' home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains. Ground penetrating radar was also used and deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughn were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Once the excavation was complete, we conducted a thorough search of the Wandras' residence. The search was productive, and additional investigative evidence was recovered and is currently being processed. Evidence suggests that the following individuals who are currently in custody are involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughn. This is Sarah Wandra, 35 years old. Sarah lives at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Sarah has firsthand knowledge and is involved in Michael's abduction. Sarah Wandra is currently being held at the Payette County Jail for failing to report a death to law enforcement. This is Sarah's husband, Stacey Wandra, 30 years old, a male. Stacey was also living at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Stacey has firsthand knowledge and is involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughn. Stacey is currently being held in the Washington County Jail on unrelated charges. Now, the next individuals I'm going to introduce you to, let's go at the bottom there. This is Brandon Shirtliff, 30 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. Brandon was living with Sarah and Stacey Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe Brandon has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Brandon is currently believed to be in North Dakota.
That's a guy's name, Brandon Shirtliff. I couldn't remember his name.
Adrian Lucien, 32-year-old male out of Toledo, Ohio.
This dude used to be a fairly good basketball player at some point in time until he got with what Daniel's best friend is, and that's the mathematics. I can't wait till these trials begin. I'm going to cover the heck out of them. And we're going to go deep in on this. Everybody's been deep, and we've been waiting for this moment for such a long time. You know that they have the firing squad in Idaho, don't they?
Adrian was staying with Sarah and Stacey Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe that Adrian has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Adrian's currently believed to be in Toledo, but floats between Ohio and California. I strongly encourage Shirtliff and Lucien to contact the Fruitland Police Department detectives as the window of time for talking and cooperation is coming to a close. This remains an active and ongoing investigation with conversations taking place with the Payette County Prosecutor's Office about Michael's case and those individuals involved. We also believe that there are others associated with the Wandras, Shirtlift, and Lucy who may have knowledge of Michael's abduction, and I would strongly encourage them to come forward and speak with my detectives. When we finally reach the conclusion of this investigation, and I can assure you that we will, all of those who have knowledge of Michael's disappearance and have failed to report or hindered our investigation will be pursued. There's a moment in time to do the right thing and bring your information forward and cooperate. And that moment in time is now. To date, the Fruitland Police Department has received over 1,500 tips and leads, and we received many new leads since this phase of the investigation has began. We continue to ask our community for support and patience as we continue to aggressively work this case. We also ask that the Vaughn family's privacy continue to be respected, and we'll continue to post updates as information can be shared. Tips can be sent to findmichael@fruitland.org or to Crime Stoppers at 343cops.com or the Fruitland Police Department at 208-452-3110. Tipsters can remain anonymous. So before I open it up for questions, I just want to make it clear that this is a very active and ongoing investigation. It's super important that we maintain the integrity of this investigation. So I'd ask you that you'd please tailor your questions accordingly. With that, I'll stand for a few questions. Alex?
Switching over to KTVB, they had an exclusive interview. This was one of the beginnings of when old Stacey started to do the rounds in the true crime community on YouTube here.
In the disappearance for Michael Vaughn, the boy who went missing in 2021. In body camera footage uploaded on YouTube, one of the suspects in the disappearance claimed he knew where Michael's body was buried. Let's bring in Abby Wilt now. Abby, that footage contradicts what was told to KTVB nearly a year ago.
Hunter, that's right. Stacey Wandra interviewed with KTVB and said he had no connection to the case and no clue who Michael even was. That contradicts what he told detectives in newly released footage, where he says he watched Michael's body be buried in his backyard. For the first time, we're seeing Stacey Wandra give conflicting information about his possible connection to 5-year-old Michael Vaughn's disappearance. In 2022, Stacey told detectives via FaceTime where to find Michael's body in his backyard after claiming he watched his wife, Sarah, bury Michael there.
Give me an approximate time frame it took her to dig and bury.
I don't know, I'd say probably between a half hour to...
So here's his admission to Chris McDonough, and looking back now, I'll bet you dollars to donuts that the whole discrepancy that we experienced, where he wanted to walk back, is him recognizing, meaning Stacey recognizing, that he was essentially tricked, or wanting people to believe he was tricked, and that was somehow against the rules, that he was tricked into giving a confession. And really an indicator of guilty knowledge in that sense, worth further probing. So very important. I gained a whole new level of respect for Chris McDonough at the interview room after I saw his work with Stacey Wandra. Not that he's a magic maker, but of course he's from the Cold Case Files and he's got his own YouTube channel. People remember him from the Summer Wells case. And you're not always right about people when you start to know them through the lens of social media or television, if you will, in that sense. But Chris McDonough did a superb stand-up job in this interview to coax what would otherwise be known as a confession out of this SOB.
An hour-ish.
Over a year later, in January of 2024, he told KTVB he knew nothing about Michael's disappearance and wasn't even home when Michael went missing.
I just know that I wasn't around for any of it.
In the body camera footage recorded by police, he says he saw Michael's body.
It should be a garbage bag.
Okay, what color is the garbage bag?
It would either be white or black. We only had 2 colors.
Is the duct tape still going to be over his mouth?
It should be.
Okay.
I didn't watch take them off.
Okay.
So you should have everything intact as it was.
Another glaring contradiction between the two interviews. Stacey claimed he didn't even know who Michael was at the time of his disappearance.
Like I said, I've never even heard of this kid. I've never seen this kid. Never knew anything about him.
Now the police footage shows him guiding them to where he says Michael's body was buried.
Yeah, can you believe the audacity of this SOB? You know, Brandy was a key figure in bringing some of these very important clips to the internet and to certain true crime channels like Justin at Clutch Them Pearls and Purple Phoenix. And she still communicates to them to this day. And you might even see her when she's feeling good in this comment section. We've always been true to Brandy Neil in this circumstance. Eve.
I think it was a little bit closer in than the sprinkler. Where was it at? Right there?
Yeah, you can see it out there tomorrow.
Yeah. No, so it would have been a little closer in. Not like right on the edge of the fence. Like I said, that's the place that I know that he was being buried, was at the first place I directed to.
In the KTVB interview last year, Stacey had no recollection of Michael's body anywhere near his yard.
Can you think of any time that his body would have been buried there and then moved? Does anything stand out to you?
Not at all. They were saying that he was buried by the shed. Makes absolutely no sense. There's been no dig marks. There's no trench marks. There's nothing. The ground was a complete grassed area.
To police, he had all the details.
If that's all the crap she's giving you, it's just that he's the one that dug the hole. But she's not giving you any specifics. I can give you the specifics.
However, he told us he had no idea why police would even think he knew details.
Were you involved in the disappearance of Michael Vaughn?
No.
Why do police think you were?
I have no idea.
And there's still a lot of questions about this case, and ultimately where Michael is. His body still has not been found.
Taxi ride for today?
Hey, Stacey, where was the tricycle at?
On top, turn the camera around. It was sitting on the boxes right up there.
Okay.
They rearranged all the boxes, so it was literally closer to the trailer on the right side. No. That side of the trailer, but
My left.
yeah, your left, my right. But it was sitting. They did a lot of rearranging in the garage.
All right.
So how long has she been in custody?
I'm not sure.
Is that why she wasn't answering the last couple nights?
No, I think last night was.
Her last night?
Yeah, they held her. But so question.
Yeah.
On out front or out back here.
Yeah.
Trying to direct these guys, as you can see, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
They've had 3 cadaver dogs have all alerted to the backyard, but they're trying to narrow down the scent. And so any help you have.
So to be 1000% with you, where I've directed you is the last place that I knew.
Well, I don't think that he's being 1000% with you. Durwood, that's your term, bro. 1000% sure. Ironclad. Classic exaggeration.
Literally the place that he was buried. where that dumpster is, or where that bucket is right there is, I mean, that's in the area where I told you. I wasn't out there when she was burying him, correct, completely.
Okay.
I just had noticed the general vicinity, which
You can totally see a scenario where here's how it came about just from the outsider's look. And those who are familiar with the case will recognize. Except you, Eve, of course. But they took Sarah in first. And, you know, the way that they would play Stacey is they're so suspect of them having something to do with it. They would, you know, really bullshit him and force him into thinking that she was pointing all the fingers at him, which maybe she actually was in that circumstance because she was, you know, her feet were being held to the fire in questioning in the interviews. So when they come to Stacey and say that she's implementing you in all of this and they exaggerate and he's going to go down and she's going to go free and they've got him in a position of having to make decisions in the moment, he turns around and he's fabricating in his mind, knowing that the cops are onto him in the situation he knows that he's involved in. He's just going to work his way out of it by putting everything back on Stacey. She's the one who buried the poor child under the barbecue, and Stacey's going to be the hero like Daniel Martel is over in the other case, and show them where, you know, his wife here buried the body in the backyard, and they're going to lead the dogs to it. And that's, you know, that this is the moment where they had that excavator and they were digging up the backyard. And Chris is through the house and they're searching things. It's really in the heat of the moment.
where that bucket, that loader is. That's
So we came out to this.
the fence.
See that mark on your fence?
Yeah.
We came out to that point, and we went down. How far did you guys go down?
About 3 foot. Pretty good. Yeah, we were down about 3 foot. Pretty deep.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything. How close was he to the? It's like the box that was out there for sprinkler box. How close was he to the sprinkler box?
He was to the. Where's the sprinkler box at again?
It was in the middle of the yard, about where the bucket is.
Oh yeah, it's not there anymore, huh?
No.
I mean, he wasn't. It was. I think he was a little bit closer in than the sprinkler.
Can you believe that this individual, Stacey, is laughing and joking along while he's guiding police to the body? This is the type of friendship that Daniel has with the RCMP out in Nova Scotia, too. Nervous laughter. What a disgusting individual, Stacey. What's so funny about this circumstance? Making little cute wisecracks, jokes. Is that how you charmed Monkey into your truck? Little wisecrack, a few jokes?
Where was it at? Right there?
Yeah, you can see it out there tomorrow.
Yeah. No, so it would have been a little closer in. Not like right on the edge of the fence, but.
Okay.
I'm giving you the best I can, guys. Like lots. Sarah hasn't exactly been complete, with obviously being honest with you guys, and I'm trying to give you what I can.
Could it have been over in the corner, Stacey? Over next to Starkey's fence?
It might be. You could check there. All I know is that the place where I saw her start the shoveling was where I pointed you. But tear up the whole yard. I'm giving you guys what I got. Like I said. Huh?
We don't want to do that unless we have to.
I know, and I don't want you to have to, unless you have to either. But I can only.
Over there in the corner by the fence, huh?
It may be.
Starkey's tree.
It could be. I All I know is that from the directions that the directions where I gave you, that's where she was starting to dig. So, and Oakley always dug around that same spot, if you noticed, and I think Oakley was onto something. Like, I don't know, Oakley's a pretty smart dog, being a hound, but, you know, she always dug in that vicinity, that area. And
oh, the dogs are in it, and he's commenting on how smart the dogs are. What's so ridiculous, Stacey? Just taking you back. This is going back a year ago. True crime with Eve, husband of felon? Why Stacey holding company computer hostage after being fired? There is, yes, you're looking at a little picture from Mike Demands of there's Derwood O'Grady, Darren Geddes, booze nose, and ugly mug on the thumbnail of Mike Demands' latest video. I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, some further, deeper insight around the shenanigans.
Naughty boy. Well, if you take a look at my community page right now, you're going to see a picture of Eve's husband, Kevin. He's been a naughty boy. Well, now it makes a lot more sense why Eve is enabling child predators, criminals, felons, so willingly. Well, Kevin Christopher Roberts, just a little guy. Assault causing bodily injury. That's one. Seems like a violent little feller. Let's see, what's this? Accident involving serious bodily injury. Ooh, let's see. 10-4-4. All right. What is this? 3rd degree felony. Ooh, 2022. Your husband is up on charges just like Stacey Wandra, Eve. Well, now it makes a lot more sense of why you're so eager to defend all of these child predators. Well, let's just have a little fucking look-see. An arraignment hearing. Let's see here. Ooh. Yeah. So over here at old mugshots.com, Kevin C. Roberts. Yeah, Charity's gonna get a laugh out of this too. Ha ha ha, felons. Yeah. Let's see what else is going on down here. Scroll down. Well, that's a hell of a mugshot, boy. That's not an airline issue. Nothing an old cowboy hat can't cover up, eh, fun boy? Does your wife do your eyelashes? Look, does your wife do your eyelashes? Look like you got a bit of a black eye. Would she slap you around there, boy? What's going on there? Oh, look at that little soul patch. Well, doesn't he? Company computer. He's holding it hostage until he gets paid. Remember, he was telling us a story about how he's got this great new job. When people are going into foreclosure, he comes in at the last minute and offers them a deal, and anybody that accepts, he gets $1,000. In that sense, these individuals are disgusting. You get fired from that position. It's, that sort of thing, they don't even want anything to do with. They have a certain standard, at least, to adhere to. So let me zoom in and have a look here. It says, Mary, I, Stacey Wandra, would like to sincerely apologize for my dishonesty to you up front. I know that as a result my employment with you may be terminated, as I have no reason to convince you otherwise. I know this is something that hits hard. I am truly sorry. For the fact that you're a child predator? I have been struggling so much because no one will hire me because of this. I was honestly just scared of being judged. Well, you should have thought of that before you snatched up a kid. And honestly, I was honestly just scared of being judged. And honestly, again, we know he's anything but honest. Being denied employment, I am asking for your forgiveness and an opportunity to continue excelling forward. What does that fucking mean? I truly appreciate this opportunity that you gave me and understand you have to terminate, and I accept that. So you're going around in a big circle in all of this. Such a tool. I wouldn't even answer this. This is like written by an idiot that you can't wait to get out of your skin. Now, I truly appreciate this opportunity that you gave me, and I understand if you have to terminate, and I accept that. So thank you so much for your kindness and love you've shown me, and I hope we can still at least be friends. I don't think so. Take care, and I hope to hear from you. So later on, he updates. Next message. So here's where it's at. I'll give the computer back when I get cash. I've put countless effort into making calls and spent hours. You're not going to get that money, you idiot. You have no idea what the job you're trying to do even entails. No, you have to complete the transaction, not just spend all the time. You can spend all your time practicing for that job interview. So here's where it's at. I'll give you the computer back when I get cash. You're going to carry around this computer that you have nowhere to plug into? Someone else's computer? So this is what he's sending. You can call the cops right now and just have them go thrown in fucking jail for this. Maybe that's what he's trying to do here. Get 3 hots in a cot. I've put countless effort into making calls and spent hours on this, so here's what will happen. I've been working since the 29th. I want $150 per day up until yesterday. Oh, what about taxes? What about group benefits? What about everything off the end? Retirement savings? Vacation pay? Did you accumulate any vacation pay while you were there for the 36 hours? Excuse me. I want $150 per day up until yesterday. Well, that's better than I charge out for $1,000 a day. Before I called you, then I'll release the computer. I won't go unpaid. Oh yeah, you will. Not just that, you'll get thrown in the clink. How do you like me now? Well, that's so funny. What a ridiculous message you sent. So things aren't going over there in the Wandra camp, and that's really too bad. You know, things have really changed. You can't hide like you used to be able to hide being a child predator.
Sign, you either take a left at the stop sign and then take a right on 9th Street, or you can go down 8th Street. There's another entrance, you'll see like at the end of all the houses, kind of like on the road that continues into the map. You'll see that there is that's 8th Street, so you can take a left on 8th Street off of 8th Street to the I wish I had a way to really show you guys, but what I'm trying to say is I personally have never been on 9th Street. I know how to get there because I've driven by it, but I have personally never been on 9th Street. Which is where the Vaughn family lived. Nor do I even know who Michael Vaughn is. I had no idea that there was a little boy even named Michael Vaughn until the night in question he went missing. I wish I could see the chats. Is there any way I could see chats?
Well, I'm going to start putting questions up here in a second. I mean, everyone is just saying, justice for Michael Vaughn, that, you look great, stuff like that. If anyone's in here attacking our guest, you're going to be timed out. He's here to tell his story. So we have to be respectful. Okay. We have to be. There's no point. I spoke to him this morning. He was very forthcoming with me. He told me a lot of things I had never heard before. All right. Let's start with one question. And if you can answer it, great. If you can't, then no.
Ask.
Okay. Sarah wanted Brandon to give her a baby.
Correct.
So you knew about that.
Yep.
Can you explain how that came down?
So Sarah approached me in the bedroom where we sleep, where our place of, our master bedroom where we sleep. And Sarah had asked me, she goes, I know that you aren't able to have kids because you're infertile, but, Brandon's here and I'm wondering if we can maybe try with him. And at that point, I was like, I wasn't comfortable with it 100%. But I was like, you want a kid.
What is
so
this,
bad,
the
then fine.
1500s?
I was like, okay, that's, do what you got to do. She goes, it's only going to be, for a couple days, just, but we have to do it a few times a day. And I'm like, okay. Well, that few times a day, for a couple days turned into being a week.
Her and Brandon had to do it a few times a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. She always told me that she, you have to do it more than one time a day to be able to become pregnant, which didn't make sense with me. And I was like, I know plenty of people that have one night stands and then getting pregnant. So I don't even know how how that even played a part. But I just went along with it, and I was like, okay, so yeah, you do what you need to do. Well, then 1 week, couple days turned into a week. And at the end of the week, I asked her, I was like, so what are we doing? Like, why are you still, oh, I haven't, I just want to make sure it's, it's going to happen. And then I told her, I was like, look, like, it's got to stop. I said, I'm tired of listening to you guys fuck all the time. I just wasn't kosher with it anymore, and I expressed that to her, I was like, look, I understood a couple days. That was, that's what you wanted. That's fine. But to repeatedly listen to another dude fucking my wife is a whole nother ballgame.
Well, what's the difference? What's the difference, Mr. Morals and Ethics? What the hell is the difference now? Why don't you just tell her to marry him? Get yourself a new gal.
And so she ended
Such a BS story.
Oh, hang on. We lost Stacey. Let me send him a link again.
Are you there?
Yeah, right here.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
So Sarah was not loyal to you, obviously.
No, not in the slightest at all.
Okay.
There was Sarah was the most deceitful, I don't know how else to put it, lying bitch that I've ever been with in my life. She destroyed me as a person. She then continuously fucked Brandon even after I got arrested. And she got released on that pre-trial release before she was rearrested in November. Because Sarah had tried to contact me through the phone because her fucking mom gave her my number. Tried to contact me and then pretty much tried to apologize for throwing me out of the bus. And I'm sorry. I'm like, I didn't mean to. I didn't have that intention. And I was like, yeah, but you fucking did. There's not there's no hesitation. Like, you did what you did. You threw me and you got me arrested for having my gun. Yeah. She snitched on me for selling my gun. That's what it was. That's why I went to fucking jail. She snitched on me for it. And then and some of y'all are confused about the time frames that she got arrested when I got arrested. So
when he was giving these interviews, the police video where he and Chris McDonough were conversing over video chat was not released. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. We should start the conversation back up on the situation leading up to all the fun that's going to happen in court in Stacey Wandra's trial. We'll be awaiting the press conference. There'll be some sort of formal announcement we can expect shortly. So stand by. Peace.